It's fairly common after you have started a company and hired a number of employees that you get some sort of legal dispute with either a current employee or an ex-employee, often a disgruntled employee, maybe who was fired and now they're alleging something was done improperly. Maybe they're alleging that they were fired for an improper purpose, like whistleblower, their age, their gender, their race, their religion, some other protected category. I don't know how many times I've worked with clients and they've called me and they said, look, we had this problematic employee. We got rid of him or her. And now they're alleging that we did something wrong, that this is somehow a cover-up, or we're retaliating because they did something. Well, I can tell you, I used to practice in representing a lot of employees. And when employees called me with claims of wrongful termination, 19 out of 20 of those claims were without merit. That means they weren't even worth bringing. 1 out of 20 had something of significance, that it was a legitimate wrongful act. So often employees are really frustrated if they get fired. It makes sense. It's a really emotional, painful experience. And often when they tell family and friends, they recount the story and they might even exaggerate some things. And friends and family who are trying to be helpful say, you know what, you should sue, or you should go talk to a lawyer. It sounds like what they did was illegal. That sounds like wrongful termination. Well, generally speaking, if an employee is not hired by a contract and they're not a union employee subject to a union contract, they can generally be let go for all sorts of reasons or none at all, as long as the reasons are not discriminatory or part of a protected class. So obviously you can't say, I'm not going to keep you here, you're too Christian, or I've decided not to keep you here, you talk too much like, and then an ethnic category is mentioned. Or maybe we're not going to keep you here because of your age, those sorts of things. So when you are running into these sorts of claims, they can be incredibly expensive because not only are you paying an attorney to defend the case, but you are also often going to end up paying out a settlement. So one of the things that's really easy to do to protect your company is to get employment practices liability insurance. That's abbreviated EPLI. So employment practices, that's what you do, the way you practice and handling with the employees. Liability is when you are liable or you're responsible for something. And this is an insurance policy that covers all of that stuff. So whether it's a wrongful termination or a whole host of different categories that a company might get sued for, employment practices liability insurance can be very cost effective. For example, maybe it costs you $5,000 per year for 30 employees. Well, think about that. You get one claim in a year, and you've easily made that up. In fact, if you get one claim every 3 years, you have probably saved money with an employment practices liability claim. Another benefit of that is usually that policy appoints an attorney who is just defending these cases. So they're very experienced in this area of law. Usually the attorney has negotiated a very low rate with the insurance company because the insurance company is giving so much business to that attorney. And the attorney knows he or she's entitled to get paid because the insurance company always pays, so they can have lower rates than they could with private parties. So as a result, insurance companies get much better rates with attorneys. And that means that these EPLI policies can be very cost effective. So that is step one. Get a price from your commercial insurance broker on EPLI policies or employment practices liability insurance. Another thing you can do to avoid problems is hire based on your core values. identify what your company's core values are, have questions in the interview process that extract from the job candidates whether they align with your core values or not. And there's a real art in creating questions for the interview process that help you solicit and learn about a potential employee's core values. You want to see if there's an alignment in those core values or not. Now here's the problem. A lot of times people who want a job will say whatever it takes to get a job. They'll be listening to a scenario and they're thinking, what do you want to hear? I'm going to tell them what I want to hear. So there is a special craft in identifying questions that don't just simply ask employees, what are your core values? Or do you believe in the core value of integrity or honesty? Of course they'll say yes. But asking them about scenarios and how they've handled those in the past or how they would handle them in the future, that often can reveal what their core values are. And there are a series of other questions, which I may do a video about it sometime. Mention in the comments if you'd like me to do a video about the kind of questions I ask to assess core values. But hiring based on core values and then doing employee reviews based on core values, speaking about those core values all the time in the company, to the point where the employees even get sick about hearing about them. That is the way to make sure that your team is aligned and everybody is rowing the boat in the same direction. They're not causing conflict with each other, but instead you have the right people in the boat, they have clear understanding of what their assignments are, and they're moving forward with it. A great book on this topic, and it's really cheap, $10 on Amazon, is called Traction: Get a Grip on Your Business by Gino Wickman. It gives an overview for how this works. There's simply one chapter in there that talks about hiring and reviewing employees based on your core values and how to do that. It's a fantastic book. I'll add a link to it in the description below. In fact, I'll make it an affiliate link, which means we get a few % back. It doesn't cost any more to you, but it's an outstanding book. I've bought hundreds, maybe thousands of Gino Wickman books and given them away because they are so helpful for CEOs and business owners in figuring out the science behind running a thriving company. So, in summary, if you've encountered a number of employment practices, lawsuit, dispute, disgruntled employees, or demand letters from employees you terminated, know that you're in good company. This is par for the course. Statistically, if you hire 100 employees, at least a percentage of them is going to be a little bit crazy or have some sort of problems. So even the best companies can run into this. But employment practices liability insurance provides you a way to limit your financial exposure to those cases. Second, you can limit the amount of problematic employees in a company by intentionally thinking about your core values, hiring on them, reviewing on them, and making your core values an important part of your culture in the company. If you don't have a good employee handbook already, that is invaluable for documenting what your policies and procedures are for the employees. Often it makes great sense to document your standard operating procedure for hiring and then review that all with an attorney. Having a business and employment attorney who can advise you, understand your business, and review what you've put together often can avoid real serious problems later. The goal with this time up front is that you save money, you reduce distractions, you help everybody on your team stay focused on the company goals, not on the squabbles, infighting, and distractions that can occur when employees are focused on the wrong things. I'm Aaron Hall. I'm an attorney for business owners and entrepreneurial companies. If you found this helpful, you're welcome to subscribe to this channel for more educational videos for CEOs and company leaders. If you would like to learn more, go to aaronhall.com/free and you can sign up for some free resources, PDFs and videos that help you avoid some of the common problems faced by other CEOs and company leaders.